Well, hello there, and welcome back to another Thoughts from the Loo. Today is, what's today? January 8th. January 8th. Think about that for a second. I just spent the last 45 minutes looking at a calendar on the wall behind my occupational therapist. I think I'd remember, but whatever. Anyway, Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I hope everyone's off to a great start to the year. We're trying a new filming to see how this goes, doing it landscape, horizontal instead of the vertical portrait way I've been going lately. That being said, I am very excited because I totally hit my stretch goal for reading for last year. My initial goal was 50 books. 50 for 2024. And I hit that, I believe, in October. It sounds about right, October. Maybe September. And I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to stretch and I'm going to shoot for 75. Well, I hit my 75 goal on the morning of the 29th. Finished my 75th book that morning. It was like 1:30 in the morning because I stayed up a few hours just to finish it. I don't remember exactly which book that was, but if you go to my Goodreads, you can check it out and find it. I have to say, I did read a lot of prepper porn books last year. I also read a ton of historical fiction, and a lot of what I read last year was a lot of what I read was World War I, World War II historical fiction about the women who were doing whatever, whether they were, a lot of them were like spies and breaking codes and piloting and all that jazz. Which was interesting. It was fun. You know, I liked reading it. Some of the characters, some were American, there were English, French, German, just all across the board. So it was nice to see how everybody was kind of like represented across that front. And then after that, I did read a handful of fiction books. Not too many, but I just finished my first book of the year yesterday, and it was Stiff by Mary Roach. And it's one of those that I was walking through the library and said, oh man, I've wanted to read this for so long, let me check it out. And I sit down and I start reading it this week, and I was like, oh, I already read this one. I think it's good like 15 years ago or so. It was after I moved home after St. Leo, so gosh, that was almost 20 years ago now. So probably like between 15 to 18 years ago, we'll say that I read it. Oh my goodness, the library is busy today through the other end. But so I finished it, and my one big goal for the year with Goodreads and my books is to make sure that I'm actually leaving a review on everything that I read, because I didn't do that last year. I like picked and chose. I'd always give it like 1 to 5 stars, but I wouldn't actually write anything about it. So this year my goal is to just kind of do a basic, like, these are my thoughts on this book. This is what I got out of it. I think you might enjoy it, you might not, or stay away. That being said, the one thing I really noticed last year, and we got into this conversation on one of my Telegram groups today. So many books alternate either timeline or narrator now. And it's really frustrating because, especially when you have multiple characters, and I'm looking at you, George R.R. Martin, with your Game of Thrones folks. When you have multiple characters who are constantly, like, you're going back and forth, and it may be a good, like, 6 chapters between, like, their narratives, their little vignettes, if you want to call them that, it can be so difficult to get invested in a character, invested in the story, and actually be interested in the book. The same thing with jumping timelines. There were so many books this past year that I read, and a lot of my books did come from the Kindle Goodreads program, First Reads program, where they're books that have either just been published or are about to come out, and I get them a little bit early. And reading them, it's got to be AI, because even with all these World War I, World War II books that I read, there was so much going on in them that was almost identical to all the other World War I, World War II historical fiction books that I read, whether it was the jumping timelines, the alternating narrators, just the story in general, that it's frustrating. When I pick up a book, I want to read something new and fresh. I don't want to read the same old story rehashed over and over and over again. So, that being said, I got lots of thoughts about the First Reads program, because a lot of them were just bad. They were just horrible. And there were a lot of months last year that I wouldn't pick any of the books to read, just because nothing about it appealed to me. So I don't know who's picking these books for Amazon, or Kindle, whoever it is that's doing it. But they got to do a better job, because those books were shit. Yeah, just, I don't know. I don't know. But my goal this year, my Goodreads goal is 50. I'm already one in, so I'm ahead of the curve. I got 49 to go. And 50 books is really easy, because it gives you one book a week. And with 52 weeks in the year, you get a little bit of extra give if you don't finish one book within the week. So we'll see how I do. I know I'm going to reach it. I'll probably reach that September again, if not sooner. Kids' books, on the other hand, I definitely read well over 500 books last year with the boys. Between just the constant rereads of what we have at home, the curriculum supplements that Classical Conversations suggests for you to read with your kids, Mr. Man and Bug just picking books up off the shelf based on some that they want to read, or if Mr. Man wants to learn about robots or whatever, and I get those books. We do a lot of reading in our house. And no, I'm not going to track all of their books on my Goodreads, because I would never stop noting down what I read and how many times. The reason I have like a good number estimate is because my library, when I go on their portal, it tells me how many books I've checked out total. And I've also been tracking all of the books for Bug for the 1,000 books before kindergarten, which we definitely hit that before he turned 2, but I also didn't realize that those 1,000 books, it doesn't need to be 1,000 separate books. You just need to read to your child 1,000 times. So it could be the same book 1,000 times over, or the same 500 books twice, however you want to do it. So when I come home with a bag of books from the library, those all get entered in the spreadsheet. And the way that I track it too, I also track like what the topic is, so we can say, oh, well, we've actually read this many books about dinosaurs, this many books about engineering, this many books about St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, whatnot, Going potty is the new one, because I'm getting ready to stop dealing with all the diapers. I'm tired of diapers. But, yeah. How have you guys been doing? Did you have any reading goals last year? Did you meet them? Did you not meet them? Like, what was your favorite book that you read, or your favorite book of all time? That's always fun to hear, too. So, oh my goodness, that's a big old diesel truck pulling behind me. So I hope that y'all have had a good start to your new year. If you're where this big storm came through, stay safe, stay warm, and we'll chat next week. Bye.